Hello there, folks. How are you doing? Lovely to see you as usual, and a very warm welcome back to What's for Tea. And I hope that I find you very well indeed. So, today I've got for you these cheesy chicken pies, and these are insanely tasty. If you don't want to make these into a pie, just do the stew. You can have it with potato or, mashed potato, whatever you like, but do give it a go because it's delicious. This was everything that I used here. Now, do not be daunted when you see the amount of ingredients, because a lot of these ingredients you will have already, or, I had already. So I only had to go out and get a couple of things, and half of these ingredients are for your sauce. And I am going to be using roast chicken. This is a perfect leftover type recipe, but if you don't have leftover roast chicken, I highly recommend you roast a wee chicken. I mean, you can buy these chickens roast as well. So the first thing we're going to do is get the sauce done, and the eagle-eyed of you will notice that I'm using new pans, and I'll get into that more at the end because I was very kindly sent these pans. So get your butter into your pan, melt that down, and to that we're going to add the flour. We're making a basic white sauce here, so you just want to stir these together and then let this cook for about a minute, just until it starts to go foamy. And then we're going to add in the milk. Just make sure your milk is at room temperature before you pour it into your hot butter and flour. Give it a good whisk together, and you just want to keep stirring this, and it will eventually thicken up. You don't want this too thick. This is a bit thinner than I would normally do a white sauce, but you don't want this too thick. Pop in your seasonings. I'm using nutmeg and salt and pepper. The amount is up to you. Just add this to your own taste. Give that a wee stir together, just until it's nicely combined. And then I'm going to add a tablespoon of fresh parsley. But you can use the parsley in the jar as well. It really doesn't make much difference. And also a couple of bay leaves. And you want to let this simmer away for a couple of minutes, just to let all those nice flavours infuse your milk. And once you're happy, you can turn your heat off. Cover this with cling film. If you make sure that the cling film touches the surface of your sauce, you won't get a nasty skin. Set that to the side and turn your attention to your chicken. Like I said, I am using this very small roast chicken, so I'm just going to take the breasts off and lightly shred those up. Just cut them up and then shred them or pull them apart with your fingers. And then just set that to the side for the time being. I'd highly recommend using roast chicken and not fresh, raw chicken, because, the roast chicken is a lovely soft texture. So let's go on with the rest of your filling to another pan on a medium heat. Throw your mushrooms in, no butter, no oil. Just let these fry away in their own water, because mushrooms are full of water. I think they're about 80% water. So just give those a stir from time to time until you see that water come out, and then eventually it will all disappear, and that's what you're looking for. Nice dry mushrooms, and the flavour is going to be quite intense by doing it this way. Now once you're happy, get those out, put them into a bowl, and with the same pan, pop in a knob of butter and a splash of oil as well. Get those nicely melted down and combined, and then we're going to chuck in our onions. This is one small finely diced onion. Just give those a fry for a few minutes until they go nice and soft. Just like this. And then we can go ahead and add our leek. Now this is just half of a small leek, the white part, the end bit. You just want to finely dice that as well. And again, give this a couple of minutes until it softens up nicely. And to this, I'm going to add some thyme, but again, you can add whatever you like, but I think thyme goes really well with chicken, or sage, something like that. Give that a couple of minutes as well for the flavour to come out, and we're going to add the chicken back in. So pop in your cooked chicken. Like I said, this is roast chicken, and that's what I highly recommend. Then give that a good stir together, just to make sure all those flavours are nicely combined. You're just basically warming the chicken through at this stage. So that's that done. So go back to your bechamel sauce and get the cover off. And then you want to fish out your bay leaves. There are 2 in there, remember. So you want to get those out because you don't want to be chewing down on these bay leaves. That's ideal. Now just add enough of this to your chicken until it all starts to come together. You don't want to add too much of your sauce. You don't want this sloppy at all, because we are going to be topping this with cheese. So yeah, you don't want the whole thing turning into a gooey mess, but it is up to you. But I don't like this mixture too wet. So this was ideal for me. I used about 3/4 of the sauce that I had. Then pop in your mushrooms, give them a wee stir around, and we're going to add a handful of grated cheddar. This is mature grated cheddar. You want a nice strong cheese. And again, just fold everything in, and oh my goodness, this concoction is unbelievably tasty. Like I said, if you don't want to bake this into a pie, have this with mashed potato or even pasta. You know, it's fantastic. These are the wee tins that I'm using. I got these from Lakeland, and I will link them underneath this video in case you want to go and check those out as well. And this is the pastry that I'm using. I'm using shortcrust. This is just the one that you buy from the shop, already made, and it's so easy. All we're going to do is cut this into 4 squares. I'm just going to be doing 2 pies just to show you, but these ingredients will be enough for your 4 pies. So cut it into 4 squares, flip it over, then pop it into your tin. And if you're not confident patting this in and shaping this in, just grab another tin and press it in, you know, and you will have the perfect shape there. You know, everything will be nicely into all your nooks and crannies. I actually saw, I think it was Keith Cooks I saw do this, and I'd never done it before, but it works really well. So just continue for all of your pies. Then with a knife, just go around the tin, you know, and take off the excess pastry. And this was ideal. Perfect. Now we're going to grab a wee bit of greaseproof paper, pop that in. We're going to bake these in the oven for about 20 minutes until they're nice and golden. I'm using these baking beans, but if you don't have these, you can use rice or pasta or lentils, you know, anything that's going to weigh that paper down. So I'm just going to use these baking beans, press them down nice and firmly till it's nice and flat. And like I said, we're going to pop these into the oven for between 15 and 20 minutes, just until the top of your pastry is starting to go brown and the underside will also be cooked. And it's going to create a wee sort of pastry boat to hold your filling. So once you're happy, get your baking beans out. You can obviously reuse these, or if you're using rice or lentils, put them into a jar and you can obviously use them again. So I was really happy with these. Now give them about 10 minutes to cool down, or you will burn your fingers off. I'm just going to pop these onto an oven tray with a wee bit of greaseproof paper underneath, just to make sure they don't stick, you know, in case your cheese comes over the edge or something. But these were absolutely fine. Now just fill your boats up, or your pie cases up, but don't do it all the way to the top, because we are going to add grated cheese on top of this, and you don't want everything completely spilling over the top. So just a good, you know, maybe a wee handful over the top of each one. Pop them back into the oven just until your cheese melts. You can leave them in longer, you know, if you want a browner top, but this is just what I was after. And we had some green beans and some new potatoes with garlic butter, with a wee bit of parsley on the side. Oh, and these were incredible, let me tell you. And I'm going to show you what it's like inside, but this one had been sitting for about 20 minutes, so they're not as runny and gooey as they were when they were first made. But I will show you inside anyway, and everything's sort of staying where it is, but that was not the case, let me tell you. When these were first out of the oven, everything just ran out like lava. But whatever, they are absolutely delicious, and let me know if you're going to give these a go. Highly recommend that filling. Like I said, if you're not keen in pastry, or you can't be bothered, you know, making a pie, do give the stew a go, because it is lovely. So the pans I was talking about, and the pans I've been using, I've had for the last couple of weeks, and they were very kindly sent to me by Salter. I basically went onto the website and I picked out a couple of things. So I chose these, and also chose a kettle and toaster. And I have been using these for the last couple of weeks. You know, they're dishwasher safe, they wash wonderfully, they're non-stick, and they're a fantastic price point as well. And they're stackable, which is fantastic for me, because my kitchen is not the biggest and I don't have a great deal of space. So I was needing new pans. So these came just at the right time. This is them here. I will leave a link to these in the description box underneath, which will take you to the Salter website if you want to check these out, or even the kettle and toaster. These are just lovely. These are from the Rose Gold collection. Again, again. I've had these for a couple of weeks, been using them, and they've all been fantastic. So thank you once again, Salter, for sending me those. Yeah, it's much appreciated. Do go and check them out. You will find the links underneath the video. And just before I go, I wanted to say a massive thank you again to the supporters of the channel over on my Patreon page and to the channel members here on YouTube as well. It's all very much appreciated, guys, and for leaving your comments, and for those that share the videos. You know, you all do such amazing things for my wee channel, and I do really appreciate it. So I will catch up with you probably on Friday for my wee shopping haul, then back on Sunday for meals of the week. But whenever I see you again, mind to have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll catch up with you off a soon back here on What's for Tea. Bye now.